So much for sticking with us this hour. I'm meteorologist Kit Thomas. Chief Meteorologist Trevor Burchett has the night off. We'll be joined a little bit later with meteorologist Daniel McDonald. But of course, it's been a beautiful day. The past couple of days have actually been cool relative to what we've seen over the last several weeks here. We've had a lot of 80s as well, and we are going to see those temperatures start to get back up into the 80s soon enough as well. We're taking a look over our downtown camera this evening. Everything is nice and sunny out there still. Not a whole lot going on the cameras, but we still have had some of those more sunny conditions around the area, and they're going to stick around for the next couple of days as well. Just maybe a few more clouds starting to show up in the area as we start to see just a little more moisture coming in from the south as well. So overall, pretty decent weather out there. Looking at your almanac numbers currently, for the day today, we got up to around 78. So that is nice and mild, a few degrees above average, and exactly as we forecast. Same for that low. We forecast 78 over 48. I always keep a very detailed forecast journal here of all the numbers, keep everything checked up on. And over the last month or so, we've had about a 94% accuracy within 3 degrees for both our highs and lows. We always try and keep it within 3 degrees. Better target of 2 degrees is even better, but that's a little bit more difficult. We had a rough winter. Our worst score for a 30-day period was about 63%. So that is a bad forecast, and it was actually a pretty bad forecast for much of the country, as we just really had a lot of dynamic fronts that came through. And the fact that we actually don't have as many balloon launches anymore. Some changes over the last year and a half have led to budget cuts with the National Weather Service that have greatly impacted our models. And so whenever we have those cold fronts coming through from the west into the east, it actually is less sampling and makes it a little bit of a harder forecast for us. We've seen a notable decrease in forecasting skill since those balloon launches have been canceled. Right now, in the meantime, temperature around 74 degrees here in Memphis. So still nice and mild out there. It's going to be a beautiful evening, so get out and enjoy it if you can. Still another hour or so of sunlight, daylight out there this evening. So definitely a pleasant evening right now. 74 in Dyersburg, 77 down towards Tunica, 77 as well in Forest City right now. Winds are fairly calm, but they could be gusting a little more over the next couple of days. Looking at the temperature change over the last 24 hours, it's actually warmed up just a little bit. It was a more dramatic temperature swing as we headed from Friday into Saturday, as we cooled down as the cold front came through with all the rain that we had. Then we warmed up another 20 degrees as we headed into Sunday. Today is just a little bit warmer than Sunday was, and we're not going to be as dramatic of a swing the next few days, but it is going to gradually warm up. We need the rain though. Like I said, it's been a fairly sunny stretch, a very warm stretch. We just really haven't seen a lot of rainfall. We really just saw a touch of rain on Saturday. I think it was just over 1/10 of an inch of rain that we had then. And so we are now actually the 7th driest start on record in the history books. So I want to take a look here. I've got actually my my trusty spreadsheet where I keep a track of all the data. Going back to 2012, we had 9.94 inches of rain through this date. So that's the driest year in recent history compared to this year of 10.35 so far. Take a look at the drought monitor. Of course, this updates weekly, not daily, but we don't really have the data in from Saturday just yet, but it really isn't going to change very much because that was less than our average daily rainfall, which is about 2/10 of an inch. So overall, we're likely to see that drought continue to expand over the next couple of weeks. With the exception of maybe as we get to next week, we do have some rain on the way. Hopefully that actually trends up over the next few days. Right now, take a look at the relative humidity. Since the ground is very dry, the air coming up from the south kind of gets desiccated. If you've seen those little silicate packets, it absorbs moisture. The ground can also do that. If we have a lot of moisture coming up from the south, it can get reabsorbed into the ground. The thing is, we have a very dry air mass right now. Relative humidity in the mid-20s around the area, so that's actually drawing moisture out of the soil. So if you have a garden, if you've been watering, you've probably been needing to keep watering because it's been so dry in the air. it's drawing moisture out of the ground and out of plants and vegetation as well. And that leads to fire conditions. Fire weather is a little more risky whenever we get down this dry. Overnight, whenever our temperatures drop, it actually gets closer to the dew point and that relative humidity goes up. Then it drops again in the afternoon. And it's going to be exceptionally dry tomorrow afternoon and pretty breezy as well. So we've got more fire weather conditions coming up tomorrow afternoon. Again, usually whenever it's down into the 20s or about 25% or lower, that's when fire weather becomes more of a concern. Tomorrow we're looking at about 13% humidity in the afternoon. So it's going to be a little more risky for any fire weather conditions tomorrow afternoon. It's not terribly breezy overnight tonight, but we'll see the winds actually kicking back up to around 20-25 miles per hour for those gusts tomorrow. So any fires that do start could spread very quickly as well. So of course, we always just want to keep that in mind. We do have some counties around the Mid-South here with burn bans in effect. So keep that in mind if you're in agriculture, if you have a farmer out there, of course, keep that in mind. You don't want to be doing any burning. And of course, any heavy equipment that might spark off a fire, make sure you're not parking in high grass, dry grass out there. Of course, cigarettes, always dispose of those properly. Don't toss them out the window or on the ground. And just any outdoor burning, you want to keep that as a pass for now, of course. Also, if you have a trailer that has chains dangling, those can actually spark off of the pavement, and those sparks could fly into dry grass. And that could, of course, start a wildfire as well. So always keep those things in mind. Looking at the water vapor satellite imagery. This is taking microwave imagery of the Earth, and it's seeing how much moisture there is in the atmospheric column. You can see a little more of that moisture across Texas into Oklahoma, but we've got a very dry slot here across the Mid-South coming from the plains into the southeast. So that's why we've got such blue sky out there. Not only the high pressure, but just a very moisture-starved air mass that's moving across our area right now. A few clouds to our southwest at the moment. It's going to make for a pretty sunset in that direction, but here in Memphis, we're staying pretty clear overnight tonight. Temperature dropping down to around 53 degrees tonight, so a pleasant evening for us on the way. Not quite as chilly as it has been over the last couple of days here. Of course, we've seen those temperatures that have been just a little bit more in the 40s the last couple of mornings. Not going to be quite that cool, but we are getting up very warm in the afternoon. Like I said, whenever it's dry, like we've got right now, that actually allows our temperatures to swing quite a bit more. If you've ever been in the desert, it can be very hot during the day, but then at night it cools down rapidly. That's because it's very dry air. Water actually acts as a big heat sink. It'll hold on to heat a lot longer than just dry air. So if we're very humid, it's actually going to keep our temperatures a little warmer overnight, and it keeps us from warming up so much through the day because you've got to heat up that water. Think about boiling a pot of water. Again, it takes a while. It takes a lot of heat to get it to boil. Tomorrow we'll be in the 80s, and we'll see temperatures stay in the 80s for the next several days. We've got a few clouds coming in tomorrow, a little more cloudy tomorrow afternoon, mostly just cumulus clouds. As we get into Wednesday, we'll start to see a little more cloud cover around the area. It might keep us just a little bit cooler as well, but still around 80 degrees on Wednesday. Then by Thursday morning, we might have a chance for some scattered showers around the area. I've only got about 30% chance. Some of us will see rain. The rest of us will stay dry. We have to wait until the later part of the week to see our next good chance for rain. But as we look here, the next 3 days forecast, like I said, a little cooler on Wednesday with that added cloud cover around the area. And then we'll see those temperatures start to warm back up as we get into the Thursday time frame. Long-range models are starting to pick up on a pattern of more rain around the area. As we get into the Friday time frame, you see those thunderstorms across the Central Plains. This is late Thursday night into Friday. Those storms eventually get to us as we head into Friday morning. So that's some good rain that we definitely need. Maybe some heavier rain to the south and maybe some severe storms in with that as well. We'll talk about the severe setup in a little bit. But as we head towards Saturday, still some showers lingering. Maybe Sunday we'll see another round of some storms in the plains that lead to showers here. And again, Monday, another chance for some rain. So hopefully we can set up this rainy pattern that lets us get a little bit of a dent in the drought that we've had around the area. As we look at the 7-day rainfall totals, this is from the Weather Prediction Center, and it's actually in the DC area. Looks like over the next week, we've got about 2 inches of rain. That is good rain. We really need that 2 inches. Like we were looking earlier, we're about 7 or 8 inches behind schedule for this time of year. Looking at the precipitation outlook as we go through the end of April, we're already talking about that. It does look like we are going to be above average for our precipitation. So that's good news. We need rain, but we need this to continue as we head into the month of May as well. Here's your 7-day forecast. Overall, things are pretty pleasant in the next few days, still in the 80s. We've actually had the most 80-degree days year to date on record in Memphis. It's been a very warm year, and that's actually a statistic that exists for many cities across the Southeast. But like I said, later half of the week, that's when we're going to start to see the pattern shift and bring us a little bit more rain. We've still got a lot coming up here on ABC 24 Weather Impact Now. We've got a chance for those severe thunderstorms across the central part of the U.S. and an earthquake caused concern for tsunamis in Japan. We'll be talking about that coming up in just a few minutes.